EU videos that appear here are filmed by conscripts. Can we just execute this conscript?
A Ukrainian Su-27 fighter jet struck a Russian anti-aircraft system with an AGM-88 HARM missile while covering a strike group operation, according to footage published by the Sonyashnik Telegram channel. The pilot of the 39th Tactical Aviation Brigade used an AGM-88 HARM missile on a Russian air defense installation, causing its ammunition to detonate. A Cossack on a Su-27 carrying out a cover mission for the strike group. He did the job well. First confirmed target for the Baby, a Ukrainian Air Force-affiliated blog post stated. Footage recorded by a reconnaissance drone shows a secondary explosion of the solid fuel engine of the anti-aircraft missile and its spontaneous ejection from the launcher. The video quality does not allow for precise identification of the system, but the successful use of a HARM missile indicates the target's radar was active at the time of impact. The system is likely to have been a Buk or Tor, based on the missile's behavior after launch. Since mid-2022, Ukrainian tactical aviation has employed US-made AGM-88 HARM missiles to suppress Russian air defenses and support its own strike operations or disrupt enemy activity along the front line. This tactic focuses more on suppressing enemy systems than on their complete destruction. Due to the limitations of integrating HARM missiles with Soviet-designed aircraft, the missiles are typically fired into the general target area and guided independently toward sources of radio frequency emission. As a result, confirmed footage of successful strikes with these missiles is rare. The released video is likely the first publicly available clip showing a confirmed impact. Ukrainian Air Force had received upgraded AGM-88E missiles equipped with a multi-sensor guidance system. In addition to passive homing capability, which tracks radar emissions, the AGM-88E features an active radar seeker, allowing it to engage air defense systems even if the radar is switched off. The missile is also equipped with GPS and an inertial navigation system, enabling it to strike targets by coordinates. Thanks to these upgrades, the missile, while primarily designed to neutralize air defense systems, can also be used against other non-armored targets if necessary. New info about the huge Ukrainian attack on Russian airfields is coming on an hourly basis. Spotted satellite images showing possible damage to a Tu-95 bomber at Ukrainka airfield in Russia's Far East. Initially thought spared in yesterday's attack, drones, launched from a truck, likely managed to hit at least one aircraft. Burned vegetation west of the base also visible. Special Operation Pavutina, or Spider's Web, was necessary to improve the security situation against the backdrop of constant Russian attacks on civilian infrastructure and the population. Ukraine continues to work, and therefore this special operation may happen again, said Prime Minister of Ukraine Dmytro Shmyhal in an interview with France 24. According to Shmyhal, this was a very targeted military operation for Ukraine. We have been proposing a complete ceasefire for 2 months, and the Russians still do not agree. They continue to attack Ukraine every night, every day. There are constant missile and drone attacks on civilian infrastructure. So we have no choice. We must destroy their military potential and prevent them from doing so, he stressed. According to him, Operation Spiderweb proves that innovation and new technologies play a crucial role in this war. Technology is changing the battlefield now, and I am convinced that Ukraine has many other ideas to improve this capability. So this is not just an episode, this can happen again. We continue to work hard. You can already see the results in the Black Sea, and we are freeing our airspace from Russian bombers, the Prime Minister said. At the same time, he noted that Ukraine needs long-range missiles from its allies. We need them to neutralize Russian logistics near the border with Ukraine. Russia is attacking Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Sumy regions. The only way to stop them, restrain them, and save many lives is to have the means to neutralize their military logistics, Shmyhal emphasized. According to the head of government, military weapons and the creation of joint ventures for their production will be topics of negotiations with the French authorities. French weapons, which have proven themselves well on the battlefield, will be one of the topics. We want to continue our cooperation on missile development and accelerate the creation of joint ventures for the production of military defense equipment. We will continue to do everything to prevent the enemy from achieving its goals, Shmyhal emphasized. Russian propagandist Solovyev has found someone to blame for the loss of over 30% of Russia's strategic aviation and suggested he should be executed.
EU videos that appear here are filmed by conscripts. Can we just execute this conscript? Just take this scum out and shoot him in front of the ranks like a traitor to the motherland.
Yes, it's that very same conscript who filmed this video.
Тут пизда. Тут пизда.
Talks in Istanbul lasted for 1.5 hours in which no ceasefire agreement was reached. But Umarov did announce some other, also important agreements. Ukraine and Russia have agreed to an all-for-all exchange of seriously wounded and ill prisoners of war, as well as all soldiers aged 18 to 25. Ukrainian Defense Minister Umarov confirmed. Russia and Ukraine have also agreed to exchange the bodies of fallen soldiers on a 6,000 for 6,000 basis.
The third point is our agenda is a meeting of leaders. We agreed on the exchanges, and soon we will inform about the details of the exchanges. We focused on those who are severely damaged, who are ill. We focused on the categories of the young people and another categories, and exchanges of the bodies of the people who died. So the details of the information we will acknowledge a little bit later. Thank you.
Russian delegation leader Medinsky says they've agreed on the biggest prisoner exchange yet. Over 1,000 people, including young soldiers and the seriously wounded. Russia also proposed short 2 to 3 day ceasefires in certain areas so commanders can recover their fallen troops. Prime Minister of the United Kingdom Keir Starmer, we are moving to war-fighting readiness as the central purpose of our armed forces. When we are being directly threatened by states with advanced military forces, the most effective way to deter them is to be ready, and frankly, to show them that we're ready, to deliver peace through strength.
And today, following through on this review, I want to set out 3 fundamental changes that we're going to deliver. First, we are moving to war-fighting readiness as the central purpose of our armed forces. When we are being directly threatened by states with advanced military forces, the most effective way to deter them is to be ready. And frankly, to show them that we're ready, to deliver peace through strength. Now, Britain has the finest servicemen and women in the world. We're showing them the respect that they deserve by delivering the biggest armed forces pay rise in 20 years and by pledging today that we will end the hollowing out of our armed forces. We'll build a fighting force that is more integrated, more ready, more lethal than ever, backed by a stronger strategic reserve, fully trained and ready to mobilize at any time. Second, everything we do will add to the strength of NATO. As we step up to take greater responsibility for our collective defense, the NATO alliance means something profound. That we will never fight alone. It is a fundamental source of our strategic strength. That's why our defense policy will always be NATO first, something that's written through this review. The transformation we are driving in our defense must add up to Britain's biggest contribution to NATO since its creation, so that when we're building new capabilities at home, we are making our allies safer too, strengthening Europe and strengthening our bridge to the US as Britain's first partner in defence. Third, we will innovate and accelerate innovation at a wartime pace, so we can meet the threats of today and of tomorrow. as the fastest innovator in NATO. Now, this doesn't mean replacing people or hardware. Quite the opposite. It means learning the lessons of Ukraine, which I've discussed many times with President Zelensky, to ensure that every capability we have works seamlessly together. Drones, destroyers, AI, aircraft, each different branch of our armed services fully integrated to create an army which is 10 times more lethal by 2035. And in delivering all of this, we are more ambitious than ever for the change it can bring. To deliver not just security for our country, but renewal too. After the Cold War, many nations cut defence spending, freeing up public funds, creating what was called a peace dividend, which people felt in their public services and in the quality of their lives. Faced with new circumstances today, we must deliver for working people again, to seize now a defence dividend for the British people, using this moment to drive jobs and investment throughout the country, like here in Govan, providing local opportunities, skilled work, community pride, ensuring that everyone across the United Kingdom has a role to play in this effort, yes, but also that everyone has a stake in its success. And I want to spell this out very simply. To achieve this, we're going to build, we're going to use this investment and this once-in-a-generation reform to drive renewal up and down the nation, creating new jobs, creating skills and opportunity, driving huge growth in industrial capacity.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comments section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.